Hi, Jackie.
Well, hello, Jill. Nice to see you today.
Nice to see you today.
So, I want to welcome our audience and give a quick preview of the Jack and Jill Show. What is the Jack and Jill Show? First, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. What Jill and I are trying to do is learn ourselves and teach other artists, creatives, and small businesses with experts in the field by interviewing them, finding out how we market during this time. We're going to talk to architects, art coaches, museum directors, art consultants, big influencers, anybody that's doing anything in which we can learn from. So we do have somebody very special today with us. I'm very excited. And if you could just tell me about who this special guest is, that would be great.
Our guest today is Adam Kayce, and he is the president of the Home Show Management Corporation, and he is also the producer of the Miami and Fort Lauderdale Home Design and Remodeling Show. And on that note, let's bring him in. Hi, Adam.
How's it going?
That's Jill. That's my friend Jill, Adam.
Nice.
Hi, Jill. How are you?
How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
We're doing great. We're excited to have you.
Yes, I'm doing great now because I have two of my favorite people on the screen. That would be me and Adam.
There you go.
I know, and Joe too. Okay, so one of my favorite people, Mr. Home Design and Remodeling Show.
There you go.
I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
My question is, I've been thinking today about all the similarities between what you do and what we do. For instance, you do exhibitions. Like every single person in the home show is an installation and an exhibition, and there's well over 500 of them that you are now no longer able to do. Just like we are no longer able to exhibit out there. So we have to drastically pivot. Now to engage with our audience, I know you've been very successful in this realm, and I don't know how, so I'd like you to share that with us if you don't mind.
So, obviously when talking about exhibitions and shows and things like that, obviously there's so many different formats, and what people have really realized, especially today going through the environment that we are, it's really brought forth, even more so than ever, the importance of face-to-face and expos and just doing business with people. But obviously the fact that we're not able to do that right now kind of changes the dynamic of business. Over the years, we have hundreds of businesses in every single event. It's really their opportunity to showcase who they are, what their product or service, really differentiate themselves in their work, to the masses, to the public, to their, the people that ultimately they do business with now and in the future. So, in regards to looking at, exhibitions and how to pivot into the new normal, it's a completely, it's the same dynamic, but it's a different format. So you have to keep looking at what the core of your business is, in the sense of, what the reality of today is, and more so just embracing it and do what you do well, so.
Okay. The hell do we do well? Okay, so.
So how about
Jill,
personalizing our brand?
Yeah.
That's something that seems to be of the utmost importance right now. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, when there's things that go into personalizing a brand, and what does that truly even mean? I like to, and what you guys truly represent is creating. Personalizing a brand starts with the individual behind the brand or other people behind a brand. In my case, a lot of times I'm working with companies that have a number of different employees, whether it's sales or installation teams or warehouse employees or whatever that might be. But when it comes to the art world, there's that individual behind the brand, and that's what people are buying. Every piece of art, every business, every installation, whatever it might be, they're putting together a story of who that business is, and what better than the person behind the art in your case, or behind a kitchen company in another case, or whatever it might be able to tell that story. People aren't just buying a pretty picture. They're buying, the process. They're buying, the fact that something is approachable, because personalizing a brand makes it more approachable, which creates loyalty. And loyalty in every business is the most important component, because referrals is everything, but more so, especially in the art world, collection is everything. Because if somebody buys one piece, then they gravitate towards your form of art. But personalizing, it really all comes down to content and what you're doing today to be able to showcase who you are and what you do. I mean, we have the greatest platforms that have ever been created in history at our fingertips, and it's free. Between social media, there's so many different things that people are so afraid, and they think that there's so much science and technique and everything, which there is, but if you don't try it, and if you don't put in the effort, and you don't make the attempt, none of it matters. Because truly, especially, just relating back to the arts, it's what you do with your brand. And that's exactly like just seeing the day-to-day, just seeing the process of, producing a piece of art. That's what people want to see. It's not just the finished product.
Right.
Okay, so then I want to move on to...
We can keep going in that direction. I can talk all day. I mean, it's up to you.
Well, we're going to do more than one show. So when you've been very successful in taking this home show that always had a home,
right,
in which to show, and you're doing it online.
Right.
And so you've totally overhauled the formula, the working formula that was doing so well for you, recalibrated.
Yeah.
Now you're doing something totally different. What are you doing, and how are you finding that it is successful? Because I know you are.
Yeah, so I like to kind of break things down in steps. So, kind of taking things back, and I need to find a better word to reference it, because I'm tired of saying COVID, because it's, it has a negative connotation. Obviously, nobody wants it.
That bummer we're all dealing with.
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, to me, it actually represents opportunity. So taking your question, yes, we've been producing, our brand is over 40 years old. We even have a jingle. How many brands have a jingle? So
sing it.
The Home Design and Remodeling Show, it's the one. Everyone knows it. So if you hear it,
no.
I can't tell you how many people that I talk to, and they're like, "Oh, what do you do? The home show? What is that?" And then I sing the jingle, and they're like, "Oh, I know it. My parents used to bring me there growing up, and so on." But anyway, the longevity, the history, the branding, everything that our show represents, we have a responsibility to the community. And for so many years, we've been delivering. So, as far as the best products, services, businesses, companies have truly started their business and created and established their entire business by being on our platform. And that's everything. I mean, there are artists that have been a part of our show, just like, artists, they go to a lot of different fairs and festivals and exhibits all over the country. I have people that come in from other parts of the country just to do our show. But if you know your brand and you know who you are and what your work is, there's no better way than you being able to take control of that, to be able to expand on who you are.
Yeah.
So how do you bring an artist into the show? Where do you find an artist, and who makes that decision? Is that your decision?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, so art has been a big component of what the show is forever, because the thing is, art is what brings a home together. Walls are meant for items to be placed on them. It's decorative. It could be wall coverings. It could be art. It could be so many different. The art comes in so many different formats. So we've always been a huge supporter of the arts, and a lot of times artists, they find us because they know that their product is ultimately going in a home, and the best way to find a collector or somebody that truly appreciates who they are and what they do is going to the masses. Because the thing is, when it comes to art, most homeowners, generally speaking, they don't know what they like. They know what they don't like, but if they gravitate towards something, and they won't know that an artist even exists unless they see them in that open format where there's all different types of vendors. Because art, we've always been promoting the arts and the art world because, educating people on why art is so important and having an original piece, it tells the story of your home. It could be, there's people that, when people travel, they bring home a piece of art from another part of the world or another part of the country, and it kind of puts things in perspective. But, going back to the show, it's the same thing. It's a way of discovery. Today's world, discovery is virtual. So going back to, what Jackie was saying is, how did we pivot? Where did we realize our value? When this whole thing hit back in the middle of March, we were 2 weeks away from our first show of the year. It was going to be in Miami. All of our advertising, everything is running full force. We had to close our office, postpone the show until next year. So when we take a step back, we realize we have this incredible platform. We have years of history. We have years of branding. But more so, we have that trust in the community. We have the fact that the market knows that they can come to us to find all of their resources for their home. So the quickest way to be able to, stay in front of the public and to be able to provide information and also to be able to help our clients is by producing content. It's not comfortable for anybody, but once you get the hang of it, actually it never gets easier, but it just becomes more routine. So I've been, really highlighting businesses because going back to personalizing business, the people behind them are the experts. And having hundreds of businesses that showcase their work and their projects within our show, for us to be able to tell their story and to highlight really the questions that the market deserves to know, and to go through the home improvement process, and to really just be able to find, versus being a lead from a company, to be able to find the information, discover new products, new services. That's really what we're focusing on. But we are deeply ingrained in a redevelopment, a brand refresh, of bringing our platform online to really be a 365-day a year opportunity for the public, for businesses, for individuals, for renters, homeowners, doesn't matter who you are, designers, to be able to connect on one platform and really be that ultimate first step to better home living and home lifestyle.
Okay, so in saying that, the hell are we supposed to do? How do you capture a database of your niche clientele and drive people to your site to sign up? Like, where are we getting our people if we know who our ideal client is?
Yes, absolutely.
Where do we go from there?
Well, the biggest thing is, who is your client? Because truly,
we know who our client is, but people have to do a lot of work to figure it out.
Yes.
How do artists reach you? How can they get to you? Do they email you? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, so our website and obviously our social media, we have so many different platforms where it's easy to get in touch with us. They can go to our website, which is homeshows.net. All of our social media platforms are at FL Home Shows. And, being able to write us a message, engage with us. But our business is to showcase them. It is to highlight people within the community and other communities to show, the variety of businesses, because there is something for everybody. In the sense of, obviously it doesn't matter what you're looking to purchase. There's a variety of price points, of mediums, of so many different things when it comes to, art or really any product for the home. So what I would recommend, one thing in particular that I personally have been really focusing on, that especially during this time, is LinkedIn.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, it's an incredible platform. People are there to connect. It's very business oriented, but it's becoming more and more personal. For so many years, I felt like it wasn't acceptable to have anything personal on there, but more so than ever, people are posting about their personal life. They're looking to connect with people because, networking is great, And I did a lot of it when I first, especially moved down here. I'm originally from Boston. When you're first kind of finding your bearing. But a lot of networking is more of like a hard sale. This is LinkedIn has become more of an approachable way, and the way that you go about it is more of a way of discovery. And what's great is people that you connect with, you can actually create an entire database from information of people that you're connecting with on LinkedIn to be able to create an email database, and to be able to, if you have a new piece of work, being able to showcase that new work. But it's not just showing a picture of that piece of work. And it's actually something that I've commented to Jackie, something that I think that she does really well, that I think it's a more recent thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's showing product that is actually staged, like on a wall in a lifelike setting, because that is what is relatable. And everything that we do doesn't matter on what platform. Bless you.
Thank you.
So it's being relatable and creating something that someone can envision in their own home, to showcase in another light.
Well, you know something, Adam, I actually looked you up on LinkedIn, and I'm waiting for you to respond.
I just did.
You did?
I actually just saw it as I was waiting. Like 5 minutes before you brought me on, I did see that come through, and I did
I told
accept.
him not to.
Yeah.
He's like, don't work with him. He's no good.
but the thing is, like, when it comes to LinkedIn, I can't tell you, and there's different people that I follow, and a great individual, if I'm going to give a plug, someone that has been inspiring more recently is a gentleman, actually, and his son, Steve and Mark Noodleberg. They're like business coaches. They're sales experts, but really like motivators, but they have mastered the game of LinkedIn. And I did a LinkedIn course with them not too long ago. And this is really transparent across the board for all social media.
Yeah.
You want to be consistent with it, because you can't take days off. You have to put time in, doing
7 days a week with the posting.
Yeah, twice a day, at least once a day. You want to do it once a day, but also it doesn't need to be completely professional. Like it can literally be, you with your phone. The most powerful tool you have, other than your paintbrush, speaking to you guys, is your phone, because the quality of picture, the quality of video, and it can be 15 seconds, it can be 30 seconds, is showing what you're doing, coming into the studio, starting a project, your thought process.
Okay, if we're doing 2 times a day, what are the times that you would suggest on all platforms?
So one thing that I like is first thing in the morning. I'm up around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to be that early, but when people first get up, they're checking their social media, what type of, what's first on the feed. So that's a good time. Otherwise, I would say lunchtime and towards the end of the day, because that's when people are taking a break. They're looking at their phone. They're catching up on a few.
And then 6 o'clock?
Yeah. No, not even. I would say before the workday, because as the workday is winding down, people are like, their train of thought is going elsewhere. I would say between 4:30 and 5 is good.
Yeah. So, okay, so I just made my first move with you. What do I do next? Do I send you my website? How would I approach you if we didn't know each other?
So the best thing to do is send a message. You want to personalize it, because I can't tell you, like, when I first started really dissecting what I'm doing on LinkedIn, I found that most of the people on LinkedIn, I don't know. When it comes to other forms of social media, I'm only accepting you if I know you. But for whatever reason on LinkedIn, there's thousands of people. I have 10,000, people that I'm connected with on LinkedIn. And it's like, I don't know thousands of them. So now I'm going through, just sending a quick message, say, hey, we've been connected for a while. I'd love to hear about your business. It's taking interest in other people. It's not, don't just focus on you. Don't just focus on, it's finding out who other people are, because every person that you're talking to isn't necessarily what's going to build your business, but who they know will. But people in business are more accepting, and they're more ambitious, and it's more, I guess it's more ingrained in as far as what today's business is, as far as wanting to help or put someone else in touch with someone that they know. You know, I had an incredible conversation with somebody. Our businesses did not align. He's an executive with the New York Jets. I'm a Patriots fan, so I would never reach out to someone. But anyway, we connected. We went to school in the same conference. We both played football. We had a lot of synergy. But the conversation was authentic. It was about, finding out about each other. It was, who can I put you in touch with? Because if you're able to tell somebody what their business is, they start thinking about who they might know to be able to help you. If you're not authentic and you're just about the sale, people don't want to help you and they want to continue on.
It feels so good to do that too.
Yeah.
I know, it feels great.
It does.
Bonus.
And what really resonated, going back to like something that Steve Nudelberg has mentioned, is give. During difficult times, give it all away. Do what's right for the people that you're working with. I know that you guys are charitable. When it comes to your art, it's not always getting top dollar. It's a matter of also getting it into people's hands, because all of a sudden they become a collector. So It's thinking beyond just the sale. It's how do you build a base?
Like I just did an auction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pennies on the dollar. But guess what? It raised funds for the Gay Men's Chorus. It raised funds for ArtServe. I felt great doing. I was psyched that I got to sell 2 paintings.
Yeah.
And what would I have done with those paintings?
Both of us. We were both on the site.
We were both on there, and we would have just gessoed up. I mean, it's more important to give. Sometimes you just feel so good, especially now. It's just another one of those things that feels really great. And then you also have somebody that likes your piece.
Well, that exactly.
Their home.
It doesn't matter what they paid for it; they liked it enough to want to put it in their home.
I feel
and that's an honor,
right, Jill?
It is, because you think about what that person, every time they walk by the piece, what they're thinking, how they're feeling, and then they might say, I'd love to see something else that's going on with Jill. What else is she doing right now? Maybe I'm going to reach out to her.
And I'm sending personal thank you notes, and my thank you notes will be all hand painted. And I've done that before.
Great idea. People
have framed them.
And the thing is, people appreciate thank you cards. It's kind of like
old school.
Yeah, I don't think my wife, Kelly, I don't think she's ever written a thank you card in her life until she met me. But it's been so important to me my entire life, and now everything is thank you cards for everything. Good. So, but it means something when you receive a thank you card. You know that it's beyond an email, so it is an amazing gesture. But it's doing something different. It's leaving that lasting memory, but also
to have it hand painted.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think it's better to have it hand painted than to have it done where you can get a whole bunch of cards made. You can do that too, but I think Jackie,
I like my idea.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think
that's a great idea. And then
I have to say this one other thing. So then I dropped off a piece for installation, right? And I wrapped it in brown paper. Well, I painted the paper. They were flipping out. Who can we get to frame this paper? I'm like, really? Like, I'll get it framed for you. They're like, we love this. And then we love your card. And like, we're going to frame the card next to the paper, next to the original. You know what I mean? Just little.
Going to turn into like a creepy shrine.
Creepy. No such thing as a shrine to Jackie.
Right.
You got one, Adam, somewhere.
Well, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is, because I do work with a lot of artists, and I know something consistent. I could be wrong. You guys might be upset that I say it, but I know a lot of artists don't like to spend money on advertising. Think of it as advertising. The biggest thing is, if it's your time and obviously the cost of materials, and sometimes getting into that important home or whatever it is, sometimes is more valuable than anything, than the dollars that you can bring in for that item.
Absolutely.
It is.
I totally agree.
I also believe in giving something besides the actual painting. We had Ed King on from ArtServe. He's a marketing guy, and he was explaining that, give a print, give somebody something besides what they're actually purchasing. as a nice gesture. And I think that's actually a wonderful thing to do.
Absolutely.
Surprise. Who doesn't like the
Give of
surprise?
yourself.
Yeah. And actually something
Gift
that
with purchase. Love a gift with purchase.
without a doubt. And it brings me back to think of like all the different things that we've done within our shows that have really highlighted the arts. So are either of you familiar with Stephen Gamson?
No.
So he's a local artist, pop art. He actually studied under Brito. So it's very similar style,
How do you
different.
spell his last name, Adam? I want to look him up.
Gamson, Gamson.
Got it.
An amazing individual, a friend of mine now. He gives back to a lot of the charities that I've been involved with over the years. But there's been shows where he would create a piece of art that was like the signature piece of art for our show. And then he would come to the show, have an exhibit, and he would do a signing at the show. He's extremely recognized in the brands world. He's done stuff for Absolute Vodka. He's designed bottles for them. He's done stuff
I
for.
like him already. No, he sounds great.
Right. But I'm forgetting the name of the coffee. The Cuban coffee company. He designed the bag for that. The polo. Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of things that he's done, and he's become more and more recognized over the years.
I can't wait to look him up.
Yeah, he's a great person as well. He's really great.
So
is he on LinkedIn?
I don't know. I mean, you can definitely find him on Facebook and Instagram. I'm sure he's on LinkedIn, but his website and everything. But he's someone that I've worked with over the years within the show itself on a larger picture to be able to give something to our attendees.
Okay, how are we doing on time, Jelly Bean?
we got a little bit of time left, but
Do you have a question, huh?
basically, Adam, what you're telling Jackie and I is that for the next show, you want the both of us on the show with signature pieces. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, so.
Do you see? She just
Well,
sold two of them.
let me go back to that.
2 for
Let's
1
go
because
back to
it's
that.
also the Jack and Jill show. We'd have to film it.
So
At
the
the
thing
home
is,
show.
the installation of it is a story. You guys need to put up the walls, but I will support it. Having a feature within, bringing the art community together also tells a story for our show, and it's been a great addition. Over the years, we've worked with ArtServe. We've done a lot with ArtServe. We had a whole section within our event that was called At Home with Art. It was all local artists. They would have 3 to 5 pieces of their art on a small section, and it was an amazing feature for us. People love just seeing all the different forms of art, and we would pull different types of artists. We would do profiles on them, but in addition to, and that was like a curated process. We would select the artist so that way there was variety and
Right.
wasn't the same artist over and over.
Yeah,
But
but you need quality.
yes, yeah.
You
Well,
basically, you need me
Yeah.
because I'm the freaking curator.
yeah. There you go, the historian.
Okay, so go ahead.
So we would go live with you at the home show with our show.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Because we can use ArtServe because there's no one there. It's like 30,000 square feet. I mean, it's freaking huge. And there's 4 people there. So I have all these walls. We could get some great artists, run them by you, and we could do something.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
that
And
work
everything
for
is
you?
virtual today. So, obviously there's a lot of creative ways to be able to do different things, but bringing the arts to the people, because at the end of the day, and I have this conversation a lot, people know what they don't like. They have no idea what they like.
That's very true. That's
Absolutely.
very true. But I like you guys, so that's good.
I remember the first time I met you or caught a glimpse of you, like when you were sneaking in my backyard.
I was in his backyard trying to figure out how to get into the front door.
Oh, is your front door obscured?
It was like through a carport and around a corner, like this little courtyard thing.
I'm surprised you didn't call
In
them
comes
up.
this strange woman that I've never seen before.
Hey, Kai, I'm going to be your
Yeah.
neighbor. We were across the street.
Our new neighbor. Yeah.
That's a good story.
Yeah, and became really good friends.
And it like painted the perfect picture of who Jackie is. It like told us right away.
Like, if I want what I want and I need to know you because I saw you guys out there and you look like my kind of peeps, I'm sneaking into your house, finding the front door,
Exactly.
And making my own introduction. So, if we could just take the last few minutes to
Yes.
talk about, I know on Facebook I don't get as many likes and hits or whatever, but on Instagram, videos are very good for me.
So videos are great because, you know, movement is it always catches people's eye because they're wondering what's next. But something that I personally gravitate towards when it comes to art is the process of art, kind of having like, you know, even using like time lapse, like you can use time lapse to speed it up and you can use slow motion to slow it down. So that's what really keeps it interesting, and nobody's going to sit there and watch a 20-minute video of.
We talked about that of paint drying.
Yeah, exactly. But they'll watch 2 minutes of the entire process of going through an entire painting. And that's interesting. And just the technique to the colors, to the blending, to everything is a beautiful thing. But the one thing I will tell you is don't focus on the likes and the interaction. You know, it's not, because it does take time to build. That's like immediate gratification. You know, everybody wants that immediate feedback, but it does take time, because the thing is, there's a lot of people out there that has a ton of likes and a ton of followers and everything, but really most of those people couldn't care less about them, and they're just
we want the buyers. We want people that are really interested. Most of mine are artists, which I appreciate beyond.
Right.
So I definitely hear what you're saying. Then it'll say, and I'm sure for you too, Jill, you know, this post is doing better than 90%. Why don't you promote this post? Do you believe in the promoting of the post?
Me or Jill?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
You, Adam.
Promote the post. Promoting it is going to allow you to get into new networks, but the way that you target it, I don't know, like, you know, you're able to target specific type of people. Right. Don't just target people that like art. Target real estate. Target other demographics that is your following, you know, or people that, the type of people that purchase, you know, your artwork. I mean, you say you know your demographic. What better than being able to target them? You know,
I am my demographic.
And try new ones too. Try new.
But also step outside the box and do something that's uncomfortable. You know, message somebody and say, listen, you know, my name is Jackie, or I'm Jill, and I'm, you know, this is my artwork. I'd love for you to be familiar. You know, the person might be a realtor, and, you know, they have clients all day of all different, you know, what's the first thing that someone has to do when they go into a home? They have to decorate. They have to add things. You know,
and stagers are good too.
Stagers are great as well. But
so Adam, I have a question for you. Can we do another show with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to say goodbye.
This is like the tip of the iceberg of
It
this.
is. We have so much more to
Can't
cover.
wait until next time.
Okay. Well, thank you for being our guest today, Adam. We
Absolutely.
learned so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Jackie. And we are out.
It was an honor, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
Adore you, babe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.